The next thing I do want to talk about, still relating to the 49ers, is Brock Purdy. And there's a lot of talk right now about, hey, is Brock Purdy? He's a system quarterback. He shouldn't be MVP. He's a product of his offense. He's a product of his weapons, right? Brock Purdy, the system quarterback. I hear that everywhere. I hear it. Everyone says it. And this is my take on it. Is Brock Purdy a system quarterback? No. No. What are we doing here? Is Brock Purdy a system quarterback? Absolutely not. And you know how I know? This is how I know people aren't watching the games. They're not watching the 49ers. It's so easy to go on Twitter and see one play where Brock Purdy throws a screen pass to Debo or McCaffrey and he runs it for 50 yards. And to comment, system quarterback, product of his weapons, product of his offense. It's easy to do that. Sit down and watch the 49ers. Brock Purdy is a playmaker. He is not. Brock Purdy has playmakers. And yes, he has, obviously, you go down the list. He's got Christian McCaffrey in his backfield, arguably the most valuable asset in football. He's got two all-pro worthy wide receivers, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. He's got a top 3 tight end in the league in George Kittle. He's got best offensive tackle in the league, Trent Williams. Yes, he has weapons. Everybody has weapons. Do they have as many as Brock Purdy? Maybe not. But they do. Every good quarter. Joe Burrow's got weapons. What are we going to call him, assistant quarterback? Because he's got Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Jalen Hurts has A.J. Brown. He's got DeAndre Swift, Dallas Goedert. Is he a system quarterback? Josh Allen's got Stephon Diggs, James Cook, Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis kind of overrated. Dalton Kincaid. Those are good football players. You're going to have good players. We're going to blame Brock Purdy for having good players around him? No, that's stupid. If you're calling Brock Purdy a system quarterback, you are very clearly and very evidently not watching the games. You are not watching the 49ers play because Brock Purdy is a playmaker. He makes plays. He extends plays. You could just take that one play against Washington, for example, when Purdy was about to get clobbered in the pocket. Absolutely, he had the exceptional. Brock Purdy had exceptional awareness right there. Scrambled out right, looked, pointed to Ayuk, said, "Hey, get over there in the end zone." Fires into the end zone to an open Ayuk for a touchdown. System quarterbacks don't do that. System quarterbacks take the sack right there. System quarterbacks throw the ball away right there, or they throw a pick into some, and they try to force something. That's what system quarterbacks do. Brock Purdy is not a system quarterback, and it's ridiculous because it's just clearly wrong. It's just clearly not true. Okay? So, listen, Brock Purdy is no system QB. He is a playmaker for the 49ers. He is an asset for the 49ers. He is, listen, When the season began, I was not going to dive in headfirst on the Brock Purdy train. I was to the Brock Purdy pool thing, right? I'm not diving in yet. I was holding off. I liked Purdy. I liked what I saw the 2022, but I wasn't just going to be like, he's our guy. Let's go, right? Because I wanted to see some. Then he started to play really well. Absolutely creamed Dallas, and that's kind of when I was like, you know what, I can't really complain anymore. I'm not that I was complaining. I don't really have like a reason to say I'm waiting still. Purdy has shown time and time again, right? So that's kind of when I was like, you know what? I'm in on Purdy now. Like, he's our guy for sure. Then he had the 3-game skid. And I was like, okay, what timing is this? He did not look great during that 3-game skid. So I was like, oh no, is this just another Jimmy G situation? And then he turned it around. So listen, I'm in on Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's the franchise guy. You have me on here saying it. I think Brock Purdy is our quarterback of the future. And he's not a system guy. He's not a system quarterback. He's a playmaker himself. And if you give anybody these weapons, it doesn't mean they're going to succeed. But if you throw Patrick Mahomes in here, sure, he's going to succeed. But guess what? This is the problem I hear. This is the problem. Okay, right here. Put Brock Purdy on the Jets. See what happens. Put Brock Purdy on the Panthers. See what happens. Put Patrick Mahomes on the Panthers and see what happens. He might be an exception. I don't know. Put Josh Allen on the Panthers and see what happens. Put Jalen Hurts on the Panthers and see what. Put Joe Burrow on the Panthers and see what happens. Put Justin Herbert on the Panthers and see what happens. Put Lamar Jackson on the Panthers and see what happens. Put prime Tom Brady on the Panthers and see what happens. Obviously, you're not going to succeed if you have nobody. You need players around you. So don't just act like if Brock Purdy was on the Panthers, he's the only quarterback who wouldn't succeed. He probably wouldn't. And all the other quarterbacks probably wouldn't. So get out of here with that. It's just nonsense, really. It's really just nonsense. Brock Purdy is not a system quarterback. He's a great quarterback. He's a top 10 QB in this league right now, and he's playing very well. And he has a chance to lead us to a Super Bowl. Will it happen? I don't know. It's going to rely a lot on Kyle Shanahan, but we'll see. And Brock Purdy not folding in the pressure because, let's be honest, he did have a chance to lock up the MVP award against Baltimore on Christmas night. That didn't happen. That definitely didn't happen. Purdy kind of folded. Right? That's the past tense. It wouldn't be felled. That's not a word. Folded. Pretty folded. But it's okay. We're past it. We're going to see what happens now with the 49ers entry. Week 18. Looks like they might play a couple guys. Looks like Sam Darnold's going to be starting. But they might throw BA and Debo and George out there just for a little while. Just so, because you don't want too much rest. You do want some gameplay, right? So 2 weeks of rest is a lot. So, we're going to see what happens coming into the playoffs. But that's how I feel about Brock Purdy being a system quarterback. I think it's just utterly incorrect, and I think it's not true.